Hey, welcome to Find the Fault. In this week's video, we have Mike performing the Snatch Balance. First, I'm going to hit why we should do the Snatch Balance, and then second, we're going to go over what he's doing, exactly the faults in that, and corrections that could help him get a little bit more weight on that bar, or just move a little better, right? So why the Snatch Balance? Well, if you have trouble performing the actual snatch, if it's a movement that you're not very comfortable with it, or when you do it, getting to that bottom position of the overhead squat isn't the easiest for you. Granted that if you have the mobility and you can stack that bar overhead and you look fine, then you should be performing the Snatch Balance because it's going to help you get more comfortable in that bottom position. Essentially, the Snatch Balance is receiving the weight with your arms locked out in motion, whereas just overhead squat, you lock that bar overhead and then performing to the bottom position of the snatch. Now with the Snatch Balance, as you start increasing weight on the bar, you get a little bit more confident in the movement, and you can actually put more weight on a Snatch Balance than you can for your snatch because you're not having to pick it up off the floor and put it up over your head. It's right there on your shoulders. You just jump, lock it in position as you land in a controlled descent in that bottom position of overhead squat or snatch, right? And if you're comfortable with it, the theory is that when you can actually pick the weight off the ground, granted, if you can pick up the weight off the ground, when you hit it and get in that receiving position, it's going to feel comfortable and you won't have to be too, fearful of the movement. So let's go ahead and let's see Mike perform the first overhead squat or the first Snatch Balance. This is going to be straight ahead at a slight angle. You'll be able to see him move. And here we have Mike to the left. The clip on the left is him doing the Snatch Balance. Now we'll play it. As you see, he gets set up and he'll hit the first rep. Boom! And it's a little wobbly there. We probably could have had him tighten up his core and his lats a little more. See his second rep. Same thing, still all over the place. A little better than his first rep. And now the third one, he's doing a set of 3. Let's see if he makes up for it. Well, yeah, that rep does look a little better. I'm gonna pause it right here. Let's retro, bam. All right, so in the bottom position of his third rep, he honestly has his knees tracking in a great position. His chest is a little forward, and that's probably because of his shoulders. Look, they're internally rotated. If he had just taken the time when he was in that top position, let's go back right up here. You can see how his wrists are a little bent. They're not fully straight. His elbows are tucked behind the bar. If he had taken the time to actually drive his elbows forward more underneath the bar and tighten up his lats, squeeze his core a little bit, it would have helped him out. Now, something you probably didn't take into account, let me highlight it for you real quick. Look at his knees right here. Oh, I moved the video. Just look at the knees right there. If I go ahead and play it for you, you'll see them buckle a little bit. That shouldn't have happened, whereas he probably should have applied a little bit more of some external rotation before he jumped. And if we take a look at his box jumps, it might appear the same way as well. Now let's play the second video. Ooh, if we're able to, let's stop for a minute, go back. There you go, here's the second video. Oh, that's still the first video, what the hell? We'll figure this thing out real quick. There we go, here's the second video. All right, in the second video, it's on his profile, so we'll be able to see how far the bar travels forward. It's not the same video as where I'm standing in front. It's entirely separate video. It's his second or third set, so it's going to be a little bit different, but the same. As you can tell, his wrists are a little bit more bent back. We would like them a little bit more neutral with his elbows stacked, with his forearms, stacked underneath, so it could have been a much straighter push up against the air. So when he's pushing that bar into position, it's not coming out at an angle. And you're going to see what that does to his actual Snatch Balance in the first rep. And you can see that bar is all over the place. I mean, he gets pulled forward. Let's go back a little bit. As he jumps and lands, he's on the balls of the feet there. You can see his heels kind of wobble. There you sits back, he drives all the way up, and he really pushes far out that kind of dump trunk unit. Second rep, a little bit more stacked, but the bar's pulled a lot forward towards the left. Let's go back and take a look at that second rep. It looked a little bit better. Here he is, a decent overhead squat position. That bar still wobbles around. He stands up. You can tell his shoulders aren't really active. There's a big type of hole right there. We'll go right here now. Let me show you that real quick. Right here. He is, if we take a look at that bar path, it's right over the floor in front of his toes. Now it's probably from the way I shot the video, so it's not giving us an exact bar path, but he probably pulling forward a little bit. We'd want that bar stacked more midfoot, and that's not where it is exactly at all in that case. Let's continue to play. Let's actually go back for a minute, and let's look at the first rep one more time. Here he is in the bottom position of that dip. He drives. So, and if you noticed right there, he didn't really extend his hips all the way. So take a look at his hips real quick. We'll go with this circle. I want you to take a look at those hips right there. And notice how he doesn't really open them up all the way. It's going to be real quick, so pay attention. There's half cocked, so that could be another reason why he's not performing as well, but it's more than likely that this is a new movement to him, and he probably should have started with a lighter barbell. Yeah, he's all over the place. So a couple things you could have done better. A, drop to lighter bar, use a training bar, use a PVC pipe, use something to help make the movement better so you can understand it in the beginning. As you start progressing, as you get the mobility, the flexibility, and all that jazz there, do things that will make it easier for you. Jumping right off with granted, it was a 15 kilo bar, 35-ish pounds, was a little bit lighter than the men's bar, but it probably should have been even lighter still. 20 or 15 pounds would have been better suited for it. And taking some time to realize how you can set your lats in a movement like that. Jerks, for a lot of people, are very difficult because it's a movement from the shoulders above your head. So it's a shorter distance than any type of pull off the ground. But we have a hard time understanding how to set our shoulders, how to set our lats, how to brace our midline, how to brace our glutes, so that when we go up ahead, we're not just heating that bar into position, hopefully catching it and not totally mucking up our shoulders, but we're performing a controlled expression of the hips, right? It's exploding up, kind of thrusting that bar in the air, and we're landing in this nice stacked position to receive that load, which can be heavy depending on where you're at. So that's all I got for today's Find the Fault. Let me know what you think, if there's some things I should have covered, but I'll see you next week.